there aren't enough businesses for sale. Here's why that is completely wrong. One of the most common objections I hear from aspiring business owners is there just aren't enough businesses out there to buy. On the surface, that feels believable. You look online, you see a limited number of listings, and assume that that's the full picture. But in reality, it's very different. But what I want to show you today is that belief is not only wrong, but it's actually one of the biggest reasons that people never move forward with business acquisition. Because the reality is there are far more businesses for sale than people actually ever see. And there's a very specific reason for that. So let's break it down. Let's start with scale. In the UK alone, there are approximately 5.5 million private sector businesses. In Ireland, there are over 280,000 active enterprises. Now here's the important part. Typically, around 5 to 10% of SMEs are open for sale at any one time, but only a small fraction of those are listed publicly. That still equates to hundreds of thousands of businesses per year, either actively or passively in transition mode. But here's where the misconception happens. People only see the visible market. They don't see the hidden one. Most aspiring acquirers are only looking in one place. Business sale websites, brokers, or occasionally networking conversations. That's what I call the visible market. The reality is most businesses never appear publicly for sale because owners often explore selling in stages. They think about retiring or an exit, they quietly speak to advisors or peers, they may test interest informally, and only then do some actually move to formally listing the business. And many never actually reach step 4, which means the majority of opportunities exist in what I like to call the hidden market. These are businesses where the owner hasn't listed the business publicly yet, but they would consider selling if the right buyer approached them. And this is where experienced buyers operate, not just reacting to listings, but proactively finding these businesses. Another misconception is that businesses only come up for sale when something is going wrong. And that's simply not true. In reality, sellers fall into a few different categories. Retirement. A huge portion of SME owners are over 55 and planning their exit over the next 5 to 10 years. Burnt out or lifestyle change. Many owners simply want more freedom, less stress, or their time back. No succession plan. Their children or staff don't want to take the business over. Opportunity timing. Some business owners sell the business when they feel like they've taken it as far as they can. Health or personal reasons. Life events can actually accelerate your exit decision in a business. And strategic exit. Some owners simply want to realise the business value and move on to something new. And here's the key point. None of these reasons mean the business is bad or failing. In fact, many are profitable, stable, well-established businesses. They are simply at a transition point. Now, what happens if these businesses don't sell? This is something that most buyers never think about, but it matters because not every business that wants to sell actually gets sold. So what happens? There's usually 3 outcomes. Number 1, the owner keeps running it longer than planned, often with a reduced motivation and a declining energy. Number 2, the business slowly winds down, especially if the owner becomes less involved over time. And number 3, the sale eventually happens, but it is under pressure and sometimes at a lower valuation than what the owner originally wanted. This creates a huge opportunity for proactive buyers because timing matters more than most people realise. If you speak to owners early, you often avoid competition, get better deal structures, and access opportunities before they are formally marketed. Now, how many businesses do people actually look at before buying a business? This is one of the most important realities in small business acquisition. Most new buyers assume, I'll find a business and I'll buy it. But that's not actually how it works. On average, buyers can typically look at between 10 and 50 businesses in detail, potentially have conversations with 5 to 15 owners, and often complete after months of valuation. Why? Because buying a business is not an impulse purchase. It's a filtering process, and that's why I often say it takes 6 months to buy a business, 3 months to learn how to do it and find it, and 3 months to get that deal over the line. You are looking for the right industry fit, the right financial structure, the right owner situation, the right growth potential, and the right risk profile. You're looking for the 5 R's. So when someone says there aren't enough businesses for sale, what they usually mean is they haven't found enough businesses that meet their criteria yet. And that is a completely different problem. Why most people only see a small fraction of the market? There are 3 main reasons. Number 1, they only use public listings, which is the smallest segment of the market. Number 2, they don't know how to filter properly, so they disregard opportunities too quickly. And number 3, they don't engage in direct outreach, which is where the hidden market exists. The truth is, the more experienced the buyer, the bigger the market becomes, because they are not waiting for opportunities, they are creating them. What this means for you: if you're serious about buying a business, this should completely shift your perspective, because the constraint is not supply, the constraint is visibility and strategy. And that's exactly why in the Business Buying Blueprint, we spend our first 2 stages on defining the business that you should buy, and then setting out a very clear sourcing strategy as to how you're going to find that business. Once you know where to look, opportunities expand, your conversations with sellers will increase, and deals start to appear that you never would have seen before. Inside the Business Buying Blueprint, we have 6 stages. Stage 1 is define it. Clarify exactly what type of business that you should be looking for. Stage 2 is find it. This is where we have a very clear sourcing strategy and we access the hidden and the visible market. Stage 3 is fund it, and this is where we will help you secure deals using multiple funding strategies. Stage 4 is finalize it, and this is doing proper due diligence and de-risking your deal. Stage 5 is running it, and this is where we will help you stabilize and transition ownership effectively. And finally, stage 6 is scale it, and this is where we will help you grow your business through operational efficiencies, improvements, and further acquisitions. Because once you understand the system, the lack of opportunity objections slowly disappears. Let's bring this back to where we started. The idea that there aren't enough businesses for sale feels true when you only look in one place. But when you zoom out and understand the full market, you realise that millions of businesses exist, hundreds of thousands change hands over time, and most never even reach public listings. The real question is not, are there enough businesses? The real question is, do you know how to find them? Because once you do, the market is far bigger than you could have ever imagined. If this has resonated with you and you're serious about wanting to buy a business, then we can help you inside the Business Buying Blueprint. Inside the program, we will walk you through how to find the right acquisition for you, find off-market and listed opportunities, structure and fund deals properly, and actually complete your first acquisition with confidence. If you'd like to explore whether this is the right fit for you, then click the link below and book an inquiry call.